This is the Four-Man Rush.
Hello, Panther fans, and welcome to another podcast of the Four-Man Rush. I'm your host, Timmy V.O., here with the four gentlemen, Kevin, Canardo, Larry, and Will. And we're going to talk about Panther football as usual. Let's get down to tonight's lineup. So, obviously, we're going to talk about the Seattle game. 3 interceptions, yet we lost by 6 points. Some people can look at it like, okay, damn, we suck. Others will look at it like, okay, we took 3 picks and we still only lost by 6 points. It is what it is. But, they fought. They did their thing. Whatever. Russell Wilson is Russell Wilson. He's not in the MVP talk for no reason. Dante Jackson, that son of a gun, boy, I tell you. He's fast. He's fast. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But Russell Wilson gave him a nice lesson on geometry and angles and how a well-thrown football cannot be defended. And that's all I have to say about that. Okay. And we'll talk about the coaching situation going on with our Panthers. There's some crazy things going on in terms of the young talent that we have and the lack of playing time they're getting. Obviously, we'll talk about Will Greer or what we expect to see out of that. And we'll talk about the next game coming up with the Colts. They're coming off of a thrashing by the New Orleans Saints. Drew Brees darn near threw 100% for that game with, oh gosh, what was that? 30 attempts, something like that. It was like 27-30 and just, breaking records in. Just Drew Brees. I hate that man, but I got to give him respect. That's a bad man. And we'll talk about all that. Okay? And give you guys a heads up on what to expect this coming off season because it's right around the corner for us, unfortunately. But, hey, thanks for coming along, guys. Thanks for listening. Let's get to it. Let's start with you, Kenneth. Speak on the Seattle game. Tell us your thoughts, what you see, what you wish you didn't see.
Oh, man. Well, here we are, man. We're 6 straight games that we lost, man. 6 straight games. Albeit this team did put up a fight this time. They didn't lose by that much as the previous weeks, but nevertheless, we've lost 6 straight games. That's nothing to be proud of, man. I don't care how much of a fight they put up. I just don't care. They don't look good right now. I'm sounding like a broken record right now. This team continues to turn the ball over. They have not gotten takeaways, and their run defense is still on the verge of being historically bad. That's just where we're at this point. My man Chris Carson put up 133 yards rushing.
Man, it look
it's not even 5 minutes into the game. Chris Carson scores on a 16-yard touchdown run. And that's capped off by 8-play, 75-yard opening drive for Seattle. So they just came in and just boom, just like that. No type of fight. It's the home game. That game they lost 5 games straight. So you would think that they put up some type of fight and play with some type of fire. But that's what Seattle does. They come in and they score just that fast. Russell Wilson, like you said, Russell Wilson is Russell Wilson. He marches the team down the field for 2 more scores after that. And let's talk about Dante Jackson again. Let's have this conversation. Let's talk about it.
Talk on it, man. Talk on
it. Just on those 2 scores, he gave up a 58-yard reception to Josh Gordon. Bye-bye, Josh Gordon. That's all I'm going to say with that situation. And he gave up another one to Tyler Lockett, a 44-yard.
Yep.
So, at this point, I don't know why he's not on the bench. I don't understand. I'm trying to really understand Perry's psyche right now, what he's trying to do. But what I do know is he's not fit to be the next head coach of the Carolina Panthers. He's not even fit to be in the conversation if you can't sit him down at this point.
Yep.
And he can sit there and try to be Mr. Tough Guy and says that, I thought about benching him. Then either you're going to bench him or you're not going to bench him. And that didn't happen.
I don't care what you think.
Even after those 2 plays.
Come on, man.
So, the only bright spots for the game is Christian McCaffrey. I feel sorry for the guy. The guy's having the year of his life right now.
Yes.
He is even in college. He had 175 all-purpose yards.
Yep.
DJ Moore continues to impress me. 8
Yeah.
receptions for 113 yards. So
DJ.
those two are balling right now, man.
Yeah.
They are balling. I think that Scott Turner, he's doing a decent job, as far as calling plays, and Will pointed that out as well. He's doing a great job of that. He's kind of, even more so than his father at this point. He's finding ways to get the ball in Curtis Samuel's hands. So he's definitely added some creativity and some spice to the offense. But like I said, they put up a fight, but I expected more. You got to win. But when you turn the ball over 3 times, 3 interceptions, that's what happens. I don't care who you play. It could be one of the worst teams in the league. If you turn the ball over, you're going to lose. You can get away with 1 turnover. You can get away sometimes even with 2. But when it gets to that 3, you got problems. And I understand it's a game we should have won, but you shoot yourself in the foot. And those weren't just, you throw the ball and it's a tip pass, tip passes. The cornerback gets it. They were bad interceptions. They were bad. They had no business. You should have just took the sack at that point.
Just took the sack.
That's where we're at with it. So, as I keep on saying the last several weeks, bad teams find a way to lose. And that's where this team is. They're a bad team. They're going to find a way to lose. And we'll get to the Colts game a little bit later on. I'm going to tell my thoughts on that. And they're not doing too good right now, as a matter of fact. But, hey, we haven't crossed that bridge yet. But that's really my thoughts on that game right there, man. It's just, man, I'm starting to have, man, should we let Ron Rivera finish the season? I hate to backtrack right now, but that's where I'm at. Should we have just let him finish the season? That's where I'm at with this right now.
Why not?
It's embarrassing.
Why not? Shit.
So that's all I got to say, man. Just I'm tired of losing. I know that's where we're at right now. Or okay, why you have no choice but to just keep on losing for better draft picks and whatnot. But man, your fans are getting tired, man.
Amen.
Fans are getting tired. That's all I got to say.
Appreciate you, fam. Yeah, no doubt, man. I feel your frustrations, Kev. Kev, drop knowledge on us, man.
Well, I like to drop knowledge like we dropping games lately, but
one at a time.
Man, I'm saying they need to start just turning the drinks into just straight alcohol because these sodas and waters ain't getting it. Watching this team play live.
Get some of that white.
But yeah, man. Yeah, but as y'all know, man, I'm at every home game, and Seattle was 3 for 3 on touchdowns in their first 3 drives. And before we know it, beginning of the second quarter, we're down 20-7. I mean, it was just deflated, man. Just watching how with such ease. I mean, it literally looked like Russell Wilson was out there playing sandlot football with us. He had time in the pocket to look over all his receivers. I think I saw him send a text message to Sierra asking what's for dinner tonight, baby, when I get back. I mean, it was just it was just painful to watch, man. And you kind of expected it, but because of the fan that you are, you still want to see your team just shock the world. And I told y'all guys last week I wasn't too optimistic, but damn it, when I walked through them gates and got my ticket and just felt the energy of just being there, man, I was like, you know what, man, nobody believes in us. We gonna lead off the newscasts with this upset today. Watch and see, and if you didn't watch the game and see the final score, you would think that it was a shootout dogfight, but it really wasn't. It was pretty much a first quarter and a half ass whooping, and end of the fourth quarter furious comeback attempt. But in between time, it was just more errors, more mistakes, more penalties, more self-inflicting wounds. It's to the point where I have to be honest, fellas, and like I say, anyone that knows me knows I try to find every silver lining, every piece of optimism under the sun. Y'all been knowing me for years. Y'all know how I am, but I'm to the point where I'm looking forward to the end of the 2019 season. Am I still going to watch both games? Yes.
Of course.
Am I still going to be at the last home game against the New Orleans Saints? You best believe it.
Of course.
I haven't missed a home game since the 2011 season began. So I'm not going to, end my streak now because of current things. But uh, I'm I'm just looking forward to better days, man. Because what we're putting out on the field is it's just hard to stomach and watch. And when you invest so much into this team as fans like we do, and here at Four-Man Rush with our film analysis, with our research and everything, to do all that all week long and then sit down for 3 hours and watch what you see in the field, it's disheartening. I just have to be honest with you. But I love this team. I'm not trading them. You know how it is. You ever love someone, but you just don't like them right now. Tim, that's how I feel. I love them, but I don't like them. But through it all, yeah, it's still keep pounding. Yeah, I'm gonna be there, and yeah, I'm gonna believe once the ball kicked off that we're gonna win these last two games. Whatever happens, I'll stomach the results one way or the other. So yeah, that's just how I feel about what took place on Sunday.
Larry, what's up?
Well, I give Panther Nation a little fun fact about me. But when it comes to Sundays and watching Carolina Panther football, the amount of alcohol I consumed is based on how we play. So the last few weeks, I've been, pretty drunk by the third quarter. So
Yeah.
I'll talk about what I do remember from the game. I'm just being funny, guys. But I've been preaching. If you've been listening to the last few episodes, I've been preaching for, somebody to find ways to get all three of our explosive playmakers involved. Like we've been having a Christian McCaffrey all-pro type of year, but at times we just felt like Christian McCaffrey was all of our offense. I just didn't feel like it had to be. I know we have offensive line troubles. I know, guys haven't been all the way consistent. I know Kyle Allen hasn't been hitting the deep ball the way you want him to, but still, all in all, you should find a way to get your dynamic playmakers involved in the game. It's not just Christian, it's not just DJ, but it's also Curtis Samuel. And what was relieving and what was refreshing, I should say, is Scott Turner, who I've been preaching for the last 2 years. I was ecstatic when we got him. He found ways to get Curtis involved. He's giving him carries. If you watch Curtis Samuel at Ohio State, he's pretty good at carrying the football out of the backfield. I was just really impressed with what Scott Turner did to get Curtis involved. It's something I've been begging for weeks, and we're finally getting it. Also, we've had games where how many times does Christian McCaffrey get stopped in the 1 yard line trying to score a touchdown? It seems like Scott Turner knows how to call the right play so Christian can actually be effective in the red zone. He motioned somebody out. He made the defense key to an extra guy besides Christian, and it worked. It was an easy touchdown run.
Yep.
But there were a lot of refreshing things that I did take away from this game. I'm just trying to be positive because it's not much to find positive. But if you're looking at getting your playmakers involved, being more effective in the red zone, I saw improvements from the play caller. So whoever is going to be the new coach or whoever's going to be the new GM or whatever we're going to do, Scott Turner has a bright future in this football league. So I want to talk really mostly about him. He had a really good play calling performance, in my opinion. It was better than what his father is doing. It's not that he's a better mind than his father. It's just that things change. Times change. Everybody looks for a young, innovative coach.
Right.
You have a young, innovative play caller on your staff. And I'm happy that we're finally utilizing them. That's all I'm going to take away. I'm not going to talk about the bad stuff. I don't want to. Four-Man Rush is not a pessimistic media source.
No.
We'll talk about the obvious. We'll talk about the facts. And the facts is there's a lot of bad to take away, but I'm just trying to give you guys some positive tonight. That's all.
No doubt. Well.
Yeah, maybe I'm just more of a realist, but the way I look at it, it's December. If it ain't been fixed by now, it's not getting fixed. So we're not going to shore up the run defense. We're not going to stop turning the ball over. And all we're doing is replacing one young, basically rookie QB with another rookie QB. It's just going to be problems that we're going to have to overcome for the rest of the year at this point. So I just think now at this stage we're out of the playoffs. It's 2 games left. We got an interim coach who probably won't be back next year. We got a lot of players that probably won't be back next year. It just comes down to what Smitty said. If I'm a new coach and I collect all of the game film from this season, I want to know who's still playing hard. Who wants to be here? Who are the guys on the field that's still giving 110% effort every play? Because they just love the game of football and they want to put it all on the line. And that's kind of what I'm looking for as well. I mean, Luke Kuechly and Christian McCaffrey are obvious choices there. They put it all on the line every week. Go all out 100%, give, full maximum effort whenever possible. Another guy I'm really enjoying to watch this year is the growth of Shaq Thompson. I mean, when you watch on that goal line stand, he's the only one trying to drag Chris Carson down. Everyone else doesn't want to be on Carson's new highlight reel getting run over a stiff arm. Shaq's in there trying to drag him, get him on the ground on that goal line. Shaq's in there making plays in the backfield, anticipating, shooting gaps, making guards miss him. He's all over the field. I think if everyone gave that effort that Shaq's given, we'd be in a different situation right now. A DJ Moore, another guy, he doesn't go down after that first hit. He's going to keep fighting for yardage, give that effort every play. Curtis Samuel, another guy that's giving maximum effort. So I think these are guys that are going to be safe next year. If I'm a new coach and I turn on the film, those group of guys are the core pieces that I want to build my team around. Also, I think Scott Turner, he's auditioning for a new job as well. Because even if they hire an offensive mind, like I'm just throwing names out there, not making predictions, but Kevin Stefanski from Minnesota, or DeBoer from Buffalo, or Josh McDaniels from New England, or one of these offensive minds that are getting thrown around, I'm sure they'll want an offensive coordinator to take the pressure off of them, who's familiar with the personnel, and help them, with their creativity. I think Scott Turner might be that guy. No matter who the coach is, I think he's a guy that can possibly be retained, and he showed that yesterday. I just like the way he utilized Curtis Samuel. I mean, watch Curtis's Ohio State film. He played a lot of reps at running back. He's kind of a hybrid RB/wide receiver, but more old school. He wants one back system, so he never really used Curtis in the backfield as a running back like that. Scott, he was at Michigan with Jim Harbaugh, so he probably played against Curtis and saw how Urban Meyer was utilizing him, and that's what we saw yesterday. We saw him utilizing Curtis Samuel the way they did at Ohio State, and I thought that was enjoyable to watch. We got the ball out of Kyle's hands quick. Those quick screens. Ran a lot of jet sweeps, just was doing anything he can to make Kyle's job easier and get the ball into the hands of the playmakers. So I thought he was very impressive yesterday, despite having, poor offensive line play and a young quarterback. So I just think that core group of players and Scott Turner is what we can start, we're starting to see the building blocks that we can keep to try to build a better future for this team.
Hey, Will, check your headphone cord. I think it's hitting your microphone.
Hey, well, just to add to your point, man, there's a lot of bad plays with the guy you can point out, but as far as what you were talking about is effort, every down I see Trey Boston with the same effort. Do you think he's somebody we might want to retain as well?
Yeah, I think he is a guy that can possibly come back. I mean, he got ran. I'm going to talk about this one play where Chris Carson, the first series of the game, he bounced the ball outside, and it's Carson versus Trey Boston one-on-one at about the 3-yard line. I mean, obviously, the result, but he's there trying to make the play. And those are the effort plays that I'm talking about. I don't get coming back to Shaq Thompson, against the Redskins, he's making a tackle, 15 yards, trying to make a tackle, 15 yards down the field, and he gets stiff-armed, and he's a highlight reel. He's a meme. Everyone's laughing at him. He shouldn't get extended, this and that. I'm like, wait a minute. Why are we clowning Shaq Thompson for hustling downfield, trying to make a tackle, instead of the 8 or 9 other guys on the field that's just jogging after the ball carrier? What's wrong with this picture? We should be praising maximum effort and clowning the guys that are just jogging to the football.
Trey Boston basically told me he don't care who the head coach is. He misses Ron, but he's playing for his livelihood. He wants to have a career in the NFL, and some guys aren't doing that. So that's why we see the results that you see every Sunday. But I just wanted to add him to that group of guys you're talking about. Is just giving maximum quality effort every single down. Right. And when you add impact plays to that, that gives you some value when it comes to going into the offseason as a free agent.
Right.
I hope and pray that Trey Boston returns to the Carolina Panthers. This is my. I'm gonna stand on that because he gets clowned by a lot of people, but he's been the motivator. He's been the leader. He's been the influencer, and he's been the enforcer at times. So I just want Panther Nation to know, Larry from 4-Man Rush, I want Trey Boston back in the Carolina uniform next year.
Another one I think needs to be caught, gives good effort every play is Gerald McCoy. I think he's out of position a bit. You know, he's not the guy that's going to occupy blockers to keep your linebackers clean, but I mean, he's also given that full effort every play, and he's putting a decent season together. I just think these efforts are going unnoticed because the run defense has been so bad. But I mean, another guy you just add to that list of guys that we need building blocks to build a better team. So these are the guys that we want to start with.
Now, speaking of personnel, what the hell is going on with Brian Burns? Who wants to take that first?
Well, I will, just to start off a little bit, because I was the one, I believe, that I was sharing the information in our group chat. But according to interim coach Fawell, Brian Burns only played a total of 10 snaps this past game. 7 of those 10 were on special teams as a gunner. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Our first round.
Wow.
Highly talented pass rusher.
Highly.
Played on. That's healed up now because he confirmed Brian Burns has no nagging injuries or anything holding him back from his wrist injury that he suffered early on mid-season that lingered for several weeks. Even had to have a minor procedure done. So he's a healthy go. But his explanation was because of the defensive game plan put together against Seattle that they was going to use more quote-unquote 40 fronts, which is 4 down linemen, two defensive tackles, 2 defensive ends. That the Brian Burns, I guess, wasn't skill set enough to hold down a position during that. So he basically says, hey, if it's 30 fronts we play, he's going to get more snaps. But if it's 40 fronts, he's not going to get that many snaps. And that's pretty much what it came down to, according to the presser that was given the explanation. So Brian Burns is healthy. He's just not in the plans at this moment. Mind-boggling as that sounds, but yeah, I agree with what was said earlier. You're definitely, I think Canardo said it earlier, you're definitely not going to be coming back as a candidate for the Carolina Panthers head coach. When you got this caliber player playing special teams primarily only, and your defensive game plan did not include sets to have him on the field, I mean, somebody tell me something. I mean, I know I'm just a fan, but somebody tell me something, because my logic just can't wrap around the explanation that was given.
Allow me to go ahead and add to that point. Brian Burns was what, the 18th pick? Am I correct?
16th.
16th pick. Okay.
Yeah.
He's a 16th pick. He's a first-round draft pick. This points to the entire draft class of 2019. What is going on where you're not getting impact? It's not about Brian Burns. This is about personnel. You're not putting your draft pick, especially your impact players, in a position to make plays. I seen an interesting stat earlier today. It just was heartbreaking. Not so much because the man is from Jersey. He went to Montclair. I'm a big fan of him. But I'm talking about Josh Allen. He's a rookie defensive end, just like Brian Burns. He is the first rookie to finish his season in double-digit sacks. If you look at the first 9 weeks of the season, Brian Burns was pacing to have more than just 10 sacks.
Yeah, dude.
What's the reason why he didn't get 10 sacks? It's not his ability. It's not his work ethic. It's not him not knowing the plays. It's him not getting the snaps. That points to the culture and the coaching staff. I'll tell you exactly why Brian Burns didn't get the burn that he needed this week. Bruce Irvin was playing his old team. It goes back to that family environment we were talking about. We're going to extend old vets because we want to keep them here. That's what that was all about. Bruce Irvin was playing his old team. They wanted him to be on the field and make plays.
Yep.
We're not in playoff contention anymore. This is the time for your young players to get as much burn as possible so they can learn from their mistakes, so they can get game experience, and you didn't do it. That just points to Kennardo's point. Like, no, Farrell's not in contention to get this job next year. Nobody on the defensive staff, in my opinion, deserves to come back next year because somebody should have said, why isn't this man getting snaps? He's a rookie. He's a first-round pick. He has expectations to live up to. Get him on the field. And they didn't do that. 3 snaps on defense. I don't want to even... I know we got listeners, but what I want to say I can't say. But basically...
Yeah, you can.
The whole defensive staff can pick... They can go suck one. That's really how I feel. Like it don't make no sense. Put the boy in this rookie season, this is the perfect time for him to learn from his mistakes. This is the perfect time for him to possibly get 10 sacks as a rookie so we have some kind of confidence to build off of. And you don't do it, man. Farrell could kiss my ass. Eric Washington could kiss my ass because he should have slammed the table to get Burns on the field, but he didn't, bro. The whole defensive staff can kiss my ass, man. That's where I'm at with it.
In the words of DX, I got 2 words for you.
Suck it! Kennardo, you have something to put on it?
Man, just they basically summed it up. You know, here you go. You have the 16th draft pick, your first draft pick of the year, and you know, and what do you do with them? He's basically you drafted a 16th overall pick to be a gunner. That's what you did. And it makes no sense to me. Sometimes I think these head coaches they think a little too much. That's really my only explanation for it is to answer Kevin's question. You know, he really don't see why he didn't do something. But I think these head coaches they think a little too hard about things sometimes. And sometimes it's just obvious. Just put the guy in, let him play. You're not playing for the playoffs right now. You're not playing for anything. You're not even playing for your division. So just play the guy and see where the chips fall. That's really what it all that's what it comes down to. But I think everybody agrees with me, man. Just Perry. He seems like a nice guy, a lot of experience, but man, yeah, you might as well just gave Scott Turner the head coaching job at this point. I mean, that's where I'm at. Yeah, I mean, if you can't make the obvious decisions at this point. That's really all that's all I got to say, man. Brian Burns, he's way too talented, man. No, he's going to have a bright future, but you got to put the head coach and the staff in place to be able to, make these kids be successful, man. There's no reason for him not to be getting those snaps at this point, especially at this point in this season. And if it's something as silly as, and I do agree with Larry, hey, he's playing his old team. That's all well and good, man. But damn,
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, golly, man, just. I think Will has said this several times already. He's a vet. Irvin, he's done a good job, but hey, man, he's secondary at this point. Give your young man a chance. Let him get some burn and earn his reps. That's it.
Kennardo, just to add to your point, bro. He's a 16th overall pick. You don't use a top 20 pick to be a situational player. So when it comes to that, we're going to use more 40 front, 30 front. I don't want to hear that because at the end of the day, even though Burns was a little bit undersized coming into the draft, you expect him to be a star on your defense. That's what you're drafting him to be. So even if he's not suitable to stop the run yet, I'm going to disagree with that because I have film to back it up. I've seen him anchor in run defense. I've seen him make plays in run defense. Even if he can't do it, this is the perfect time to give him the experience to learn how to do it. He's going to get bigger. He's going to get stronger. He should have been on the field, right? He's the type of player that we drafted to be a 3-down player. We got
No. I agree with you. I agree. What I was saying was that it seems like, I mean, they may as well should have drafted him to be a gunner at this point. Yeah, we obviously all think he deserves to be on the field. He deserves to be getting playing time that wasn't the angle I was taking. I was basically saying, okay, he needs to be on the field, but I mean, look what he's doing. He's a gunner. That's what they're putting him on the field to do right now, when he should be on there for more. So that's where I was coming from.
Oh no, I'm agreeing with your point. Trust me, I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
I'm adding to your point. I'm illuminating your point.
Right.
Will is a 16th pick.
Mm-hmm.
You don't put him on the field to just do one or two things. He has to grow to do everything. That's the point I'm making. He's a 16th pick. He's supposed to be a Pro Bowler by his third or fourth year. Somehow, some way, he's going to learn how to stop the run. He's going to learn how to anchor. He's going to get stronger. You're not in playoff contention, like you said, so this is the time for him to get those reps.
Mm-hmm.
There's no excuse for this shit. There's no excuse.
None.
Like you said, Ron should have just finished off the year. Like, I guarantee you will be able to better evaluate your staff, because you know guys will still be playing hard for Ron in week 16 or 17.
I agree 100%.
Playing hard no more, bro. Like, it's a sad thing in Carolina right now. 2-14 was bad. 1-15 was bad. But when you're trying to evaluate and find guys that you might be able to bring on next year, you're not even getting the truth, because the culture is just really messed up right now, from the players to the staff. Usually it's the players. Like, oh, the players not playing hard, whatever. The staff ain't coaching hard either, and that's a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah, very hard. And just, quickly jumping, because I definitely want Will to get his saying as well. But, this type of coaching and aptitude is what's been plaguing our mediocrity. You mean to tell me that you, like, as we keep saying, the 16th overall pick was touted the best pure elite pass rusher in the league, that you can't move them X's and O's around to create a scheme that will feature him? Okay, for example, just to share some knowledge with everyone, all right, they said they wanted to use a 40 front. Okay, cool. All right, so in your 40 front, 4 down linemen, 3 linebackers, right?
Yeah.
So how about this? Larry, Kanal, I'm pretty sure y'all heard of a 4-3 over. Y'all heard of a 4-3 under. That's basically where you take your outside linebacker, and depending on the strength of the formation, you walk them up to the edge. So if you're going to do 4 down linemen, why not have Burns play the third linebacker and just have him over the edge, whether it's coming off the tackle away or over the tight end play side? I mean, Jesus. I mean, if you, I understand that with Seattle's strong running game, you wanted to have 4 down linemen. I get that, but there was ways to schematically scheme Brian Burns into your plan. See, this is and if my simple fan-minded thinking self can, think of that, something like that, why we got coaching staff that didn't at least attempt to try it? If it didn't work and he getting blown off the ball 10, 15 yards, okay, but at this point of the game, we like Larry just said, we want to see, the players out here getting reps and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm with you, Larry. This whole defensive coaching staff got to go, because there's no excuse that in a week's time you couldn't create a defensive personnel or alignment that wouldn't have featured Brian Burns, whether it's a 30 front or a 40 front. That's unexcusable.
Hey, Kev, we compare him to Von Miller, right? Right or wrong?
Right.
All right. So the guy is athletic enough to be a gunner on special teams, but you couldn't put him at Will's linebacker. You couldn't put him at Sam linebacker. He can't cover the flat. Like that is really bothering me, bro. There's so many ways to put this man on the field. He recovered a fumble recovery earlier this year, and he jogged 50 yards. Nobody was going to catch him. There's plenty of ways to get this man on the field, because his skill set alone gives us upside, and we didn't utilize it. Fuck this staff, bro. That's just where I'm at with it.
And I just want to add to that, man. Just, basically what Larry just said, what Kevin just said, a player that talented, you have to find a way to put him on the field. I don't care if it was a linebacker that we selected 16th overall. You find a way to get his ass on the field if he can play. If he's talented enough, that's just the way I see it. You know what I mean? So this staff has had a hard time doing that over the years for some reason. But don't worry, man. The next staff is going to get it right. I have all the faith in the world in that, man. It's going to be a shakeup, and it needs to be a shakeup. And I compare it to the heavyweight division in boxing right now. What happened earlier this year when Ruiz knocked out Anthony Joshua. There needs to be a shakeup. There was a shakeup in the heavyweight division. There needs to be a shakeup in Carolina Panthers football because of stuff like this right here that we keep arguing about week after week after week after week. So, I mean, it has to come to an end sooner or later. We'll see what happens.
Man.
Hey, speaking of Burns, I had a nice little interaction with his brother on Twitter, starting a new hashtag, Free Spider Burns. I know his brother just doesn't like this coaching staff at all. I mean, he got real happy when Ron got fired. He definitely wasn't happy with the game yesterday. Kind of toned it down a bit. I think Brian might have told him to fall back a little bit because he was very vocal about him not getting enough playing time. But still, at the end of the day, I mean, this is a old school coaching staff, and a lot of old school coaches prefer for rookies to sit and learn a lot during their first year.
Yep.
Bring in vets like Bruce Irvin, Mario Addison to play behind so they can learn from veterans to grow themselves. I mean, you think about situations we had. You had Vernon Butler behind KK and Starr. You had Christian McCaffrey behind Jonathan Stewart. You had DJ Moore behind Torrey Smith and Jerry is Right. So that's just kind of the old school mentality of how Ron Rivera and his staff just like to bring along rookies. I think that just goes back to being innovative. The NFL's becoming more like the college game nowadays. So players coming out of college are more prepared to get playing time right away. So just that philosophy is just outdated and doesn't make sense anymore. It just shows the inability to adapt to modern times. Get your rookies on the field early. I mean, they can come in and hit the ground running like they may have not been able to do several years ago. Another thing I want to add is I don't buy Perry Fuel's explanation about 30 and 40 fronts because the whole year, the base defense is the 4-2-5. You got 4 down linemen, Bruce Irvin, Dontari Poe / Kyle Love, Gerald McCoy / Vernon Butler, and Mario Addison. Those are your 4 down linemen. You got 2 linebackers, Luke and Shaq, and you got 5 DBs. That's basically a disguised 4-2-5 defense. Doesn't matter if a guy's standing up or has his hand in the dirt. There's 4 down linemen. So I don't really buy the fact that it was a personnel package kind of thing. I just think it comes down to favoring vets, wanting them to go out on a high note, and just that culture that's been established here that we need to get rid of.
I agree.
That's facts, Will, because when you look at the end of the day, Josh Allen made history. He was the first rookie with 10+ sacks, but you had about 3 or 4 of them, 3 or 4 rookie edge rushers this year that all could have got 10 sacks. It was Burns, it was Allen, it was also Bosa. Rookies are showing you that they can get you more than 5 to 6 sacks in their rookie year. They're doing it every year now. So that goes to your point, man. And you got to be innovative at this point. It's not just about an innovative offensive mind. You got to be innovative on defense too. And we don't have innovation anywhere. The only innovation we have is with Scott Turner. That's it. Out of everybody, we got 20+ coaches on this staff. There are 2 spots where we have innovation. It's at Scott Turner, now the offensive coordinator, former quarterback coach. And it's our special teams coach. He used to play for us. I can't think of his goddamn name right now.
Chase Blackburn.
Yeah, Chase Blackburn. Chase Blackburn and Scott Turner. Chase Blackburn and Scott Turner are the only keys to innovation we have right now.
That's it.
When we have a staff of 20+ coaches. It bothers me. I'm sorry.
The whole scheme is outdated. I mean, what are we trying to do? We're going to get a 4-man rush with 4 down linemen and sit in that zone coverage and try to force quick throws. I mean, how's that going to work against somebody like Patrick Mahomes? I mean, Dontari Poe isn't going to chase down Patrick Mahomes and get a sack. You knock Mahomes off his spot, he's going to avoid it, keep the play alive, and find his guy downfield. And that's how we lost the game yesterday, actually, on that final play where Russell said, these D linemen can't catch me. I'm just escape the pressure, be patient, and find my open guy in that soft zone downfield. Just easy to create mismatches. You got Luke Kuechly trying to run with wide receivers. I mean, it's the whole scheme and philosophy I just feel is outdated. Nobody plays more zone defense than the Carolina Panthers, and it's been that way for the last 4 or 5 years. So I just think the whole philosophy, the whole mentality is just old school, outdated, and they just haven't evolved. And I think that's been the biggest downfall of the franchise.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm a Florida State fan, man. I promise you, Brian Burns can do more than just rush the passer and possibly stop the run. He's good in coverage too. I know we made jokes about that earlier, like dropping him back and putting him in zone, but the athleticism is there. He can actually do that. So when you got plays where you got three rushing linebackers, three rushing D linemen, there's no reason why he can't be that third linebacker sometimes. He can cover a little bit. I don't want him 10, 15 yards down the field trying to cover a tight end, but he can cover his area. He can cover the flat. He can cover. He runs a 4.5. Like in the story, he's a gunner on special teams. There's a lot more you can do with Brian Burns than having him rush the passer, and I think it's a travesty that not one fucking coach has picked up on that. His brother should be living. It's that simple.
It's a lack of innovation, man. It's the lack of innovation. If you, I kind of wish we would have implemented. Now I could be wrong. I don't think I've seen it much this year. But I would love to have seen more of that zone blitz concept, dropping the D linemen, the D ends, and the coverage, and bringing the linebackers, confusing the quarterback up in that fashion. But fellas, we haven't been in position to really let the guys let that pass rush loose over the past 5-6 weeks, because we can't stop the run. Right, time of possession is killing us. Lack of producing points is killing us. We're putting the defense back on the field after a 3 and out. 2 plays later, they're back out on the field. Man, it not only does it disrupt the flow of the game, so to say, it screws with the confidence. It screws with morale. You put that lack of resolve, along with the lack of the lack of improvising by the coaching staff and utilizing the skill set of these young players. Man, I think it's gonna be it might be a long season next year, fellas. If we don't do this right, we don't get the right people in there. It's gonna, man, dude. Wow. We're teetering here, people. We're teetering on the edge of some shit, and I hope doesn't transpire, but by God, it could get really ugly.
And Tim, you're touching on something, because I know the secret is out. We're in rebuild mode or whatever, but we still have a good core of players.
Mm-hmm.
We still have a quality core. It don't have to be a full rebuild. We can be competitive next year, honestly. We can be competitive, but you need the right development. We don't have the guys to develop young players. We just don't have it.
Exactly. We let go of the one dude in the league that develops people, especially the linebacker position. He develops guys. I don't know, man. There's guys out there that can coach. There's no doubt about that.
I just don't want to see this team go in full rebuild mode when you got a core of guys that can actually fight for a playoff spot.
Right.
You just need the right minds in place, and we don't have it. So we got to rely on our owner to make the right decisions. And to be brutally honest, we've talked about this in the chat. We're not 100% on this type of shit.
I mean,
I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
I got to see more.
Man.
I got to see more. Yeah.
I got to see more. Exactly.
I got to see more.
But I just want the point to be made that we're not in full rebuild like the Dolphins or the Bengals.
That's true.
We don't need to overhaul the entire roster.
Word. We
have a good quality group of guys that we just need to build around, and we can be competitive next year. I don't want this to be a 2-3 year deal. We can actually be competitive next year if we make the right decisions. So it's a lot. All the pressure is on the owner. It's all on Tevin. It's all on Tevin. The pressure right now is all on Tevin. If you put the right guys in place, we'll be a playoff team next year. We don't got to be a 2-3 year team. Like it ain't that situation. You got too many good players on the roster right now. We all came into this season thinking that this was the most talented roster Ron Rivera ever had.
It was.
And now we in rebuild? No, I'm not buying that either.
The thing is, though, it's that they're just not consistent with how they're running this team. I mean, we're going through growing pains and letting rookies develop. Okay, so that's the excuse for Kyle Allen. That's the excuse for these other young players getting all of these reps. But when it comes to your first round, 16th overall pick, why aren't we letting him develop and giving him reps so he could be better next year? I mean, Kyle Allen might not even be on the team in 2 years. So why is he getting the excuse of having developmental reps, but a guy who's going to be a core piece of this franchise for several years to come, sitting the bench and getting 7 snaps? It just doesn't make sense to me. I just think this coaching staff doesn't have. It's just the result of having an interim coach who probably knows he's out the door next year. He's not thinking about building for the future. He's just thinking about auditioning to see what he can come up with next year.
And one thing
is this. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
No, all I was saying is this. 2 parts here, real quick. One, what I think is as far as the players on the field, we just need to reload. But as far as coaching staff and front office, that's where we need to rebuild. That's what needs to be gutted, purged, get purple power, Mr. Clean.
Need a good douche.
We be gone. Like, we need anything that just totally kills off anything that's unsightly and just run it like a fine-tooth comb through the front office and his coaching staff. As far as the players on the field, it's definitely got to be a reload. That's my first part. Second part, and all of y'all can feel free to chime in on this so we can make sure our fans are aware. We keep saying that we have a good set of core players. Break it down by offense, defense, and even special teams. I think we got a few special team guys this quarter. Who are the core players moving forward, so our fans can understand who we're speaking of, because everybody may have their own different, ideas who we consider core, and it might be different.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm gonna let Canardo start. That's a great point.
Yeah, go ahead, G.
And I've been saying this for the last few years now. If Cam comes back healthy, if you can't win it all, or at least be competitive with a healthy Cam Newton, and McCaffrey, and Luke Kuechly, that's embarrassing. That's truly embarrassing. Right there, at their best, man. That's one of the best nucleuses in the league, in my opinion.
Yep.
Now, if you can't win it all, or if you can't be competitive with those 3 right there, and if you throw into the mix DJ Moore, McCoy, Irvin, so I mean, if you can't win with those people, if you can't be competitive with that, that's embarrassing to me. I'm sorry. So I'm with Larry on that. I think that we should be competitive next year. I don't know. I don't think that it should take 2 or 3 years at this point. And with the decisions that Tepper has made, you fired Ron Rivera, and I think we all agree that you needed to move in another direction. But he better be right. He better be right about that decision that he made, man. So I know he wants to move on. But I mean, I'm not 100% on him right now. But this is definitely going to be the most important decision that he'll make as an owner in Carolina. Is the next head coach, in my opinion. And if he doesn't get it right, it can set the franchise back a long time, man. I mean, we already set back right now from decisions in the past, even for the Super Bowl year. There were some things that I saw, okay, man, we winning games, but, man, something's not right. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you look at the New England Patriots, and they always have good seasons, but you can't tell me that Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft, they're not looking at the next season, okay, man, this is what we got to do this year. I can remember in 2016, you had Jamie Collins. He was Mr. Big Shot. He thought he was all that. You know what I'm saying? He had a great season. He's one of the best linebackers in the league at that time, demanding more money, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. So what happens to him? Oh, so you want to get paid more money, huh? That's what Bill Belichick said. You want to get paid more money? Oh, okay, here you go. Give him the Cleveland Browns for a 3rd-round pick.
Yep.
Have you heard of Jamie Collins since then?
Nope.
And how have the New England Patriots done since he's left?
I think they won another
They
championship.
made it out just fine, right? So this is the kind of mentality that the Carolina Panthers need to have. You know what I'm saying? They, if they want out, if they want to be hard-headed, they want to be a bonehead, they want to freelance on the field, get your ass out of here. And we'll find somebody else that can replace you and do just as good a job as you did. And we'll continue to win without you. But we got to get to that point mentally. But as far as, what I first started off with is that you can't let there's no telling the next time we're going to get in Luke Kuechly. There's no telling the next time you're going to get a McCaffrey, who's still not even in his prime yet. I mean, he's right in the thick of it, but he hasn't touched the surface. I don't think that's happened yet for him. And that's a scary thing for the league. And DJ Moore has not touched the ceiling yet. Has not even close to touching the ceiling. If you can't win and be competitive with these guys, I gotta agree with Larry, man. That's front office right there, man. What's going on when you can't win with that? You know how many teams would cut off their arms and their legs to get players of that caliber? A DJ Moore, a McCaffrey, definitely the most lethal player in the league. I'm going to go out there. I'll just put it out there. Most lethal player in the league right now.
Oh, for sure.
And it'd be a damn shame if we can't be competitive. He doesn't deserve to be sitting on the couch, man. I feel sorry. I'm upset about this, man. And I keep saying this. He does not deserve to be sitting on the bench in late January. He doesn't deserve it. Luke Kuechly doesn't deserve it.
No.
Greg Olsen, do you think he came back for this? He could have been sitting in the booth, man, chilling in a nice booth right now, just chilling. He didn't come back for this, man.
No.
So, I mean, that's what it all comes down to, man. Just, wow. No, I mean, that window is closing rapidly, man. We see it, man. You go to the Super Bowl in 2015, you think, hey, you're going to be back, and then, hey, you haven't even come close. So that's I'm going to leave it at that. I'm rambling right now, but
Well, you good, man.
That's basically it, bro.
Yeah, and real quick, like Larry, could you identify the core players in the trenches? And Will, could you identify who we think are the core players, like skill-wise? Like I say, just so our fans know who we all feel are the core players to build upon.
Trench-wise on defense is Brian Burns. I'm not going to mention McCoy. He's a vet. I'm not going to mention Addison. He's a vet. I'm not going to mention anybody else but Brian Burns because he was drafted 16th overall. You're supposed to build around him. That's the core piece in the trenches. Offensively wise, you drafted Greg Little. I think Trey Turner, healthy, still has a lot to offer to be a core piece. To go back to defense, KK is still here. He's going to be fresh legs. He's still a part of the core piece. Those guys on defense, Burns and KK, trench-wise, you got to build over. Luke Kuechly, Shaq Thompson, you got to build around. When it comes to the offensive side, got to build around Trey still. And you got to hope that Daly and Little grow into what you want to build around. But I'm going to let Will carry it because honestly, that's the sad thing about it. Our core pieces are really built around skill positions because we have elite skill position players. So when it comes to retooling, rebuilding, however you want to call it, it's going to come in the trenches. Defensively wise, we're not where we need to be defensively as far as the 4 down linemen go. You got Brian Burns, but you need the interior guys. And on offense, we're not sold on anybody. Out of all 5 guys, I'm still not willing to call anybody a part of my core but Trey Turner healthy. And so it's really going to come out of what Will got to say because I know he's going to mention the skill positions, and we got a core around that. So how we want to retool is got to start with the trenches. I just know that we have a solid core already.
Go ahead, Will.
Yeah, as far as skill positions, I like what we have. I mean, you got DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel, Christian McCaffrey. I mean, we got running back depth with Bonifant and Scarlett, who I think are good players that just haven't had the opportunities to play a lot. I mean, I think backup quarterback hasn't been addressed well enough. Your whole season shouldn't end just because your starter goes down. So I'm hoping this additional reps that Kyle and Will are getting this year, we can be more shored up at that position going forward. I mean, at most championship teams, you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, that's an extreme example. They backup quarterback stepped in and they went straight to the Super Bowl. The Patriots lose Tom Brady for stretches of time. They don't miss a beat. So I don't see that as an excuse. We have to get shored up at that position. The secondary, I'm going to say Dante Jackson. I'm not giving up on him yet. I think he's just having a sophomore slump. He's a bit of a knucklehead, but the talent is undeniable. I don't want to trade him away and give another team a benefit of his upside.
Well, he's still a part of the core.
I think he's somebody you build around. I don't think we're using him right personally. If you watch his LSU tape, he was kind of a Swiss Army knife in the secondary. Played a little bit of free safety, played nickel, matched up with speed guys. I mean, we just have him sit. I mean, they had him guarding DK Metcalf one-on-one. I mean, how is that putting your players in a position to succeed, Doc? I mean, DK Metcalf is as big as Dante's up to his leg. You know, I mean, come on now.
He barely even jumped on that touchdown.
Mismatch. That's why Russell Wilson identified the mismatch and went to it right away.
Yeah.
So I think Dante is there. James Bradbury, I'll say is, but, you know, it sounds like from what I've been reading, they're a little bit far apart on extension talks. I have my opinion on that. I don't want to get into that today. We can save that for our off-season talk.
Yeah.
But I think Bradbury wants to get paid like an elite corner, whereas the Panthers are saying, wait a minute, you know, you're not Stephon Gilmore. You're not on that level, you know, tone it down a bit. So we might be a little bit far apart there, so we'll see how that goes. But I think, you know, right now we got to get Cam Newton healthy. I mean, that's the core man of the franchise right there. I mean, I think that's kind of been the biggest reason for our struggles over the past 2 years. You know, his shoulder just kind of wore off last year. This year, it's more of O-line issues. I credit for the foot injury they had on running for his life back there, and he stepped on his foot wrong and tore that up. But we got to get him healthy. I mean, I don't want to. I mean, if we have to do it. We got to do what we got to do. I mean, you can't. He's not healthy. There's nothing we can do about it. But I think that's got to be the priority. You know, getting them healthy and, you know, building around him and getting them back up to speed. Because I think he can play another 5 years of good football at least.
You might have anything else to put on that, or you want to move on to the Colts game, and we'll talk about some Will Greer and being thrown in the mix. Hopefully, he won't be running for his life. I'm afraid he is, though. So Colts, Panthers, Sunday, 1 o'clock or 4?
1 o'clock game.
1 o'clock. The good thing for Will Greer is that, you know, he'll be playing in the dome. I don't know how well he plays in the dome, but I know he came out of West Virginia, so he's used to that. He's used to the elements for the most part. But it'll be interesting to see what type of chemistry he has with DJ and Curtis, obviously, and all the weapons we have on offense, considering he hasn't taken first team reps the entire season. So you know, it's going to be interesting. So I guess we'll go down the line, and you guys give your predictions on Sunday, and you know, keep it 100 like we always do. Canardo, what you think, man?
Man, there's actually some positives with this game. You know, I'm gonna keep it positive. You know,
okay.
I know I've been, you know, the villain somewhat. You know, this man being negative and whatnot.
Nah, man, you keep it real, man. Keep it real, man. You good.
Yeah. I got a soft spot in my heart too. So, but I mean, there are some positives here. You know, you're going against a team that's been struggling just as much as we've been. They're 6-8. They lost their last 4 games. Their last one was atrocious. They got destroyed on Monday Night Football by the Saints. So, and they have a lot of injuries as well. You know, which we talked about it. You know, pre-show, and they do have a lot of injuries. So. There's definitely an upside to this game. I think it's definitely a winnable game. The most important thing that I've been preaching, and I'm going to continue to preach, is don't turn the ball over. If they don't turn the ball over, they can win. They could have won last week, and they can win this week too if they just protect the football. So, Jacoby Brissett, you know, he's been struggling a little bit, but he still has a decent season. You know, he's had 18 touchdown passes, only 6 interceptions. So, man, you know, you got T.Y. Hilton, so you got some pieces there. You know, it's a home game. You know, they're definitely going to come out on fire. They were not pleased at that last performance, so you already know they're going to come out gunslinging. So, you know, we got to definitely be prepared. As far as Will Greer, you know, hey, you know, it finally happened. You know, he's going to be starting this week. We're finally going to see what he has. The most important thing is, you know, I think I definitely have faith in him with Scott Turner at the helm for offensive coordinator. I think he's going to put him in position to be successful. with some certain things. He has to take what the defense gives him. If you got to dump it off to Christian McCaffrey every play, if that's what it takes to win, then you got to do that. Then dump it off to Christian McCaffrey every play. With the misdirection, with Curtis Samuel. So you got enough playmakers to be successful on Sunday and the game after that too. You got enough weapons. I think that can happen. And don't be surprised if he throws for a long ball, man. A long connection to DJ Moore or something like that. He has an arm on him. He definitely is, like Will said, more gifted than Kyle Allen is. So don't be surprised if you see him sling that thing for 50 yards and connect with somebody, because I think that can happen too. But I'm going to go against the grain, man. I know I said I wasn't going to predict them to win, but I'm going to go 27-23 Panthers. I think that this is definitely a game they win. I know some people don't want to see us win, and for obvious reasons. For obvious reasons. I'm kind of on that boat right now as well. I want that great draft position. But these guys not laying down. They showed that they're not laying down last week. They weren't trying to lay down, and they could have. But this is a winnable game. This is a winnable game as it's going to get. The last several weeks, 27-23. I mean, they just got, man, they're definitely in a funk right now. They got a lot of injuries. They're not the most confident team in the world right now. They just got destroyed, man. They coming out with their tail in between their legs, man. So you got to definitely take advantage of that. And I think Will Greer, we definitely don't want to put too much pressure on him. He'll have a decent game. He's going to make mistakes. He might throw for an interception here or there. He might fumble. That's going to happen. But, at the same time, I think you're going to see some bright spots as well. I'll go ahead and put it out there. I do think he's going to complete a few long passes, man. He's going to do some things. You're going to see definitely some great play from him at some points. But just take what the defense gives you. That's and have fun with it too. To get the season's over. It is what it is. No, there's no pressure on them. So just go out there, have fun, have a good time, and try to win this game, man. That's it.
That's what's up. Kevin?
Yeah, as far as me, just looking over this game, the Colts lost 34-7 New Orleans. You would think like that they must have played some really sloppy ball, but actually, they didn't have any turnovers at all. No interceptions, no fumbles. So they took care of the ball, but New Orleans at home. Drew Brees trying to break a record. I mean, just was in a complete zone. So they're not a team that's as exactly going to be gifting you presence to beat them with. You pretty much have to earn this against the Colts. Knowing the Colts under Coach Frank Reich, they do take chances. Defensively wise, I know Will was saying how we're the most heavily zoned team, but right behind us is the Indianapolis Colts. It's pretty much it's going to be very zone heavy scheme that they're playing, especially with them having so many players out. So for Will Greer, the key is going to be, looking off the safeties and making timely throws in between those spaces. If he can do that, if he can show the ability to do that, he definitely gives us a good chance to get a win. But this team, even though they're showing fight, the one thing they haven't shown is consistency. And without consistency, you can't win in this game. So it's hard for me to say the Panthers are going to win this game here, even though the Colts are just in the biggest funk as us. I think they're embarrassed. They're humiliated. I mean, Seattle was humiliated on the road and came here and got right against us. So, we seem to be curing teams' sicknesses. We cured Atlanta's. So anybody that's just been sick, they play us and they get right. So I do got this being a competitive game, but I just see the Colts winning this game by the score of like 24-20.
Okay. Larry?
Yeah, this is a get-right game for the Colts, man. We're a get-right team, just like how we try to identify the Falcons as early in the season. We're a get-right team, and the Colts are going to come to us and get right. I think they're a better ran franchise than us right now. They got a better coach. They got a better front office. They know what their vision is. They started with, building their offensive line. They're going to build from there. they're just doing better things than we're doing right now as a whole. So I think they're going to come out and play hard. I think they got a better offensive line than us. I think the game always comes down to the trenches. When you view it, they have a better offensive line than we have. So their offensive line is going to win more matchups when it comes to our defensive line. When it comes to our offensive line, their D line will win more matchups. I'm keeping it very simple this season. Like when it comes to this Colts game, it comes down to the trenches. They got as many problems as we got, as far as the skill positions, as far as injuries, everything else. So when you try to simplify things and just say, who's the better team on Sunday, it hurts to say, but the Colts are a better team, and if they come out and play like it, they'll beat us. So that's just where I'm at with it.
Hey Larry, don't they have one of your favorite players, the guard from the Colts that you speak so highly about?
Yeah, one of two. A couple drafts ago, I had two guards that I fell in love with. It was Quentin Nelson. It was Frank Ragnow. They happen to have Quentin Nelson, who I believe is the best offensive lineman in football till this day. So it's going to be fun to watch Vernon Butler and Kyle Love and Gerald McCoy go up against him. But when they come down to it, I think he's going to be winning most of those reps. So look forward to Indianapolis running right off of his butt, whether it's the 1 hole, the 3 hole, the 5 hole, the 7 hole. They're going to try to, establish their run game through him. So that's something you guys to look forward to.
Yeah, Mr. Will.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna quote Al Wallace, a former Panther. Him and Kevin Donnelly have a little talk show, and then Al Wallace made a good point. He said when bad teams, they're down and out, no hope, feel like their season over, they cut on the Panthers film and that light bulb clicks in their head like, wait a minute, he's soft. I can beat him. And look at Darrell Williams. He's soft, man. I could beat him. And that's what you're going to see the Colts do this week. They're on a 4-game losing streak. They're going to wake up. And they woke up Monday morning, dragged into practice all down. Like, man, we can't wait till this season over. I'm sore. I'm tired of this coach being in my face. Let's just get ready for my vacation and get ready for next year. They're going to turn on that Panthers film, watch our trench play, and say, wait a minute. These guys are real soft. We can beat them. And they're going to have they're going to up their energy level to play harder and come after us this week. And that's what I expect to happen. I think, going to see Marlon Mack, going to establish Marlon Mack to cut the pressure off Brissett behind probably the best offensive line in the league, get that run game going. We haven't proven we can stop the run. Then on defense, hey, you're facing a first-time rookie quarterback. Disguise your coverages, confuse them, make things tough on them. They got a very good linebacker, Darius Leonard, who's probably in that category with Luke and Bobby Wagner. So, they're going to slow the box, try to take McCaffrey away and force Will Greer to beat us with his arm. So, I also think the Colts will pull off this victory and the Panthers continue their tank for a top 10 draft pick.
Yeah, I personally see I see the Colts handling their business, man. Like Larry mentioned, man. If you hold it down on the offensive line, it's going to be extremely hard for the defense to stop the run, number one, which has been our Achilles pretty much the entire season. Which means they're going to have control of time of possession, and they're probably going to score points, and which means we're going to have to throw the football more than we probably like to, which means Will Greer is going to be exposed, which means we're probably going to get our ass whooped. So I'm going to say 31-12. Colts, absolutely. I just, if we can't stop the run, there's no need to even talk about anything else. I hope we get in a situation where our pass rush can be put at the forefront. Statistically speaking, we are one of the best pass rushing defenses in the league. It's just that we have to get there. We have to get in that position, that scenario where we can just put that pressure on the quarterback, because we make quarterbacks pay when it comes to that type of situation. But yeah, 31-12, man. I just don't see. I don't see this team having that type of perseverance to to break through the bullshit when those points start piling up. I just don't see it, unfortunately. But I expect Will to have a live arm, man. It's his first game. He gets to shine. For you listeners, if considering we haven't seen Will Greer since he played in West Virginia, go take a look at some of his games back in old WV, just to get an idea what his arm is like, because that arm is live, buddy. This is not a Kyle Allen arm, although Kyle Allen, it can be accurate when necessary. Well, Will can toss that rock, man, and he don't have to have his feet planted neither. He can toss that thing. So it'll be interesting. All right, so we have any closing remarks, gentlemen?
Yeah, congratulations to Luke Kuechly and Christian McCaffrey for being selected to the Pro Bowl. I was a little disappointed DJ didn't get his invited because of the season he was having, but the NFC receiving core is just so stacked. So, he's getting his 1,100 yards. It's just gotta be the elite of the elite to get in over Julio, Evans, and MT. So something to work towards this offseason. But congrats to Luke and CMC for doing the thing.
Man, this is the first 1,000-yard receiver we've had since Kelvin Benjamin's rookie year, huh?
Yeah, yes, that is accurate. Yes.
And McCaffrey and DJ have the most combined yards between a running back and wide receiver duo since 2001 when Edgerrin James and Marvin Harrison did it. That just shows you the kind of season they're having.
And that's without Cam Newton and a piss poor O-line. Imagine, folks. Imagine. God almighty. Oh, boy. All right. Well, folks, I believe we've given you all the Panther information that you can handle at this moment. I wish we had better news. but regardless of what you hear from the four-man rush, folks, it's going to be accurate and it's going to be real. And that's how we roll. So thank you guys for dropping by and listening to the Four-Man Rush podcast. And please be sure to check out our social media pages, platforms, I should say. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn, actually, and Snapchat. Hell yeah, man, we're all over the place. Tell your friends, tell your family. All right. Yeah, be sure to tune in Sunday, guys. If anything, we might win the game. Who knows? Any given Sunday. What we gave you guys today, obviously, was just an opinion of what we think was going to happen. But yeah, tune in, watch the game, support your team, folks. It's our Carolina Panthers, and damn it, they earned that much. So, and also, make sure you check out the Four-Man Rush website. That's www.thefourmanrush.com, where we have the best accurate write-ups on Carolina Panther news and scenarios that you'll ever see. To be honest with you, I've read some of that stuff on the Panthers website, guys. They don't match, man. I mean, Jesus Christ, Kev, Larry, Norris, man, writing up some great stuff, man. You guys gotta check that out on the website. And yeah, Four-Man Rush ain't no joke. So, whether you're listening to this podcast in the morning, afternoon, or evening, thank you so much for tuning in and listening to the Four-Man Rush podcast. And take care of yourself, folks. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and as always, keep pounding. And we're clear. Ciao, fellas.
All right, fellas, I'm headed to fellowship. I'll holler at y'all. All right.
Thanks, have fun.
Yes, cigar smoking bastard.
Is that what her name is tonight?
Oh.
I'm gonna go see what fellowship talking about.
Bag that girl that was serving us our table.
Uh-oh.
In the blue dress.
Yeah.
Devil in the blue dress.
Somebody go see what she's talking about tonight.
She talking about what you got.
Ashley, bro, before you go, they've already closed, bro. Save you some time.
What time they close? 11?
Yeah, they closed.
I'm just taking time to really let it breathe. So baby, just chill. Yeah. She love it, we out in public and we can just chill with my partners and we can go back to my crib and just chill under covers and do we call me and you love
The Four-Man Rush is brought to you by the love and respect of and for the Carolina Panthers and Carolina Panther fans everywhere. Keep pounding. The Four-Man Rush is a non-affiliate of the Carolina Panther organization. All thoughts, assessments, and content of this podcast is directly related to the Four-Man Rush exclusively. Thank you.